Is your child ready to potty train? Are you wondering when to start, how to do it, and basically what to do? If so, watch this video and I'm going to share with you my tips about how to potty train the Montessori way. First of all, in Montessori circles, we prefer to talk about toilet learning or toilet awareness more than potty training. Why? Just as a matter of respect for the child. You know, we don't believe that we can train children. We see ourselves as guide and role model for children, and also toilet learning is a skill. You know, being able to go on the toilet is a skill, a natural process that will come in time. And you may skip totally, you know, the potty or the toilet learning if you use elimination communication, for example, from the beginning, or if your child skips the potty altogether and goes on the toilet straight away. So let's explore more about that toilet awareness and the toilet learning process. So toilet awareness, when your child is aware of the toilet, he knows how to use the toilet, he knows about his bodily function, he knows the sensation that tells him that he needs to go to the toilet. So let's see how we can promote toilet awareness and how we can start the toilet learning process from the beginning. Here are my tips for a successful toilet learning. You can start toilet learning from the very beginning. So if you're watching this video and you have a baby, you can start now with these tips. And if your child is still quite young and you're not ready to toilet learning, let's say that you have a 1-year-old or 18 months old, you can start with all the tips I'm going to share right now. So if you can, put your child in cloth nappies from the start. Cloth nappies have been proven to help the child to be more aware of its bodily functions, to be aware faster of its bodily functions, while obviously disposable nappies, the first goal of disposable nappies is to keep your child dry. So if you can switch, talk about your child's bodily function when you change her. So you do that in a non-judgmental way, very casual way. You explain to your little baby, you know, oh, you are wet, I'm going to change your nappy. Look, that's a nappy, that's a cream. And you can feel that you are soiled or wet. How does it feel on your skin, and so on. You know, avoid making face and shaming your child when you change your child, and really treat the whole nappy changing and the whole bodily function as something natural. You can encourage your child during the nappy change to help. Even with a very, very young baby, you can encourage your baby from the moment he can hold something to hold the nappy, to give you the nappy, to hold the cream, and you kind of name, you know, his body parts, you name the nappy, and so on. So your child can be as much in control as possible according to his age during the nappy changing process. When your child can stand up, I encourage you to change your child in a standing position that will give your child more control and more independence. From around 1-year-old, many children show a natural interest for the toilet and for what's going on in the bathroom. So encourage that interest and show to your child, you know, how to flush the toilet, close the toilet lid, and, you know, go to the toilet with your child. Let your child see what you're doing, because it's a natural process. It sounds a bit gross, and I know we want a bit of privacy, but try to encourage your child to be aware of what's going on and what is the purpose of the toilet, because we role model all the time and we role model about that as well. So have a potty ready at your child's disposal as soon as possible, so you can show from early on. Even if your child doesn't seem ready to really go through the whole process, he can already start to sit on the potty. Especially when you go to the toilet yourself, you can start to, you know, suggest the potty, put your child on the potty as a routine after a nappy change, and without any expectations that your child is going to do something in the potty. It's not the goal, it's more to have your child used to go on that potty as part of his, you know, bathroom routine. At the same time as you're doing all of that, you can also obviously help your child to dress and undress and to learn how to dress and undress himself, and give your child some easy to put on and to take off clothes. So avoid, you know, complicated fastening and buckles, because it's not going to help your child to be more independent. And you can also start to wash your child's hands every time you change a nappy, to really encourage your child to develop the skills that he's going to need when he's going to go to the toilets by himself or by herself. When is your child ready? So that's one of the main questions I am asked when I'm talking about toilet learning is, what are the cues? What are the signs that my child is ready to start? What am I supposed to look for? So basically, if your child is curious about the toilet, he kind of follows you in the toilet, he starts to show some signs of physical independence, like starting to be able to dress and washing his hands, that's going to help, then yes, he might be ready to start. But first, prepare yourself for that process, because it's going to be a lot to do with your own mindset. We have sometimes big expectations about toilet learning, and we sometimes have big reservations as well, because it sounds a bit like a gross process and not something that we kind of fear a bit. We are kind of a bit worried about the whole process, while it's normally a natural process, and we do know that all children are going to be toilet trained at some point. Be very mindful that your child will progress, that there is no miracle such as a 3 days potty training, and I think it's probably not very respectful to expect your child to go through the whole process in 3 days. So yes, I would encourage you to just keep in mind that your child might regress and that is totally normal. It's not a linear, straightforward process. Studies are contradictory regarding when is the best time to start and if there is indeed a sensitive period for toilet learning. So the best thing is, like, if your child is curious, if you are quite open to the process as well, just start and just remember that it's a process. So it's not about thinking that you need to get done with the toilet learning within a few days or a few weeks. Just take that as a process and as you teaching a skill step by step to your child, and take your time. So first we're going to prepare the environment. We're going to prepare your space at home to help your child to learn to go to the toilet. So have clean underpants in a basket next to the potty. Have a stool for your child to reach the sink to wash his hands. And if he prefers to use the adult toilet, make sure you have also a stool and a seat reductor ready. Have some toilet paper at your child's reach next to the potty. And many parents like to have several potties all around the house. It's definitely a good idea to have more than one potty when you decide to remove the nappy. If you have a downstairs toilet, your child might have time to reach the potty, but otherwise don't worry about having a potty in the middle of the living room. Is only temporary. Now basically, what do? First, make toilet learning part of your daily routine. Suggest the potty every time you change your child. Suggest the potty when your child wakes up, before the bath, before and after a nap, before leaving home. And when I say suggest, in fact, I want to encourage you to be casual and matter of fact about it. You can say something along those lines. It's time to go to bed, but first let's go to the toilet together. It's where role modeling will be very important. So don't congratulate, reward them if they use the potty successfully. It is a natural process and they do it that way because it's how everyone does it when they can be physically independent. So you can state, I see that you did a wee in the potty. That is where the wee goes. Now let's flush it in the big toilet. Equally, don't force them to sit on the potty. The process must be enjoyable. Don't interrupt your child in the middle of an activity to insist that they use the potty. Wait for them to finish what they are doing before offering the potty. That might be enough to start with, and when you start to see that your child is confident and start to use the potty in everyday, in his daily routines, when he goes to the bathroom with you and so on, it might be time to remove the nappy, because obviously at some point you do need to remove the nappy. So how do we do that? Start with a few days without pants and trousers. So you go, naked bottom in the house. So obviously you may need to stay in the house for a few days in the garden. And when your child is able to use the potty most of the time, let him have trousers to go out, but keep avoiding the pants knickers. So basically that's what we call the commando style, so no pants, no knickers, but just the trousers. The reason is that the closeness of the fabric will replicate the sensation of the nappy. So if you put back a knickers too soon, your child might use, his knickers to as a nappy. They will soil the pants. When your child masters the commando styles, so trousers but no knickers, you should be able to reintroduce wearing knickers. And obviously your child might have accidents, okay, it's totally expected. So when your child has an accident, treat this casually. I see that you are wet, we need to change and find some dry clothes. So it's not a big deal, and it's really about your own mindset, okay? That's about, you're going to be able to handle that process, without big expectations, without unrealistic expectation. So because it's a process, no one will be able to tell you how long it will take for your child to go through that process. It depends on many factors, and don't be worried about that process. I know how it is. I know that we are worried about that process, but try not to be worried about it. Your child will succeed at some point. So I have made a little handout for you that you can print to have all those tips handy for you to start and to know how to go in your bathroom and set it up for success, and what to do just right now. Download the little PDF documents. You have the link in the description box below. And to go further, you might be interested to learn about elimination communication, so I put a link as well in the description box, and you may be interested to learn about Jamie Glowacki and a book, Oh Crap, Potty Training. So I have an interview with Jamie, so I'm going to link that video as well, and you can explore that way to toilet train that is respectful of the child, but a bit more structured. And if your child is a bit older, you may want to go through that process with that book. I hope this video was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next week for more Montessori tips. Thanks for watching!